All right. Welcome to the Quest Culture Podcast. I'm Brendon Hamilton, one of your hosts for the Quest Culture Podcast. So this is the first time we're doing this, like a little one-on-one, just trying it out to see how it goes. And as with the original podcast, I thought it would make clear sense to have the first episode of this with Roy Schwartz, author, writer, superhero aficionado, but in this particular case, Superman aficionado for a very good reason. Look at that background. That's like I can't even I want to like go and search for images now to change mine because my Mark from G-Force Battle of the Planets is cool, Alex Ross. But you are sitting in the Fortress of Solitude right now, brother.
I couldn't join you live in the studio today, so I'm, resuming from my home away from home. It's a bit chilly, but I like it. And,
I mean,
even just for you, I'll show everybody, look, I dressed up for the part, you
I'm
know.
hopefully ill prepared. Hopefully, nice. You got way too many S's. Way too many S's.
Don't mess
I,
with the S, bro.
what you made me realize is prepping for this, I don't have nearly enough Superman stuff in my house,
I
which is
can help you with
weird
that.
for someone. I love the character, fell in and out of love with him over years, but at this particular time in my life, I am incredibly excited about Superman and feeling like, in fact, the one thing I do have in my house is this little like I got it as a gift ages ago, and it's just like a little address book that I got, and it's got all of these old, I'm assuming from older comic books, Omer,
Well,
old,
the one on the left is actually an original painting that was hanging in the DC offices, and it's been homaged a number of times on covers. And the one on the right is, of course, the Supermen of America fan club,
that is
right?
crazy. First of all, that you know that out of
Yeah.
the random book that I just pulled out. That's insane. That's insane, guys. That's because he's the man. I told you, he is a superhero aficionado. But when it comes to Superman, I mean, he might as well be Jor-El because he knows everything there is to know about this guy. All of these, like, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
So, I was looking
By the
at
way, the crypto ray gun predates kryptonite in the comics.
the crypto ray gun.
The thing you just showed us was an ad for a toy.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Holy
I can do this all night, but we're
That's amazing. That's nuts. That's nuts that you just did that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, the thing I showed you that I was in my hand, you knew that. Yeah. So I'm looking through the book and what an odd thing happened to me. And it's in line, I think, with what we're going to talk about real quick here today. But an odd thing happened to me. I turned to a particular page, and I think it was the first time I really looked at it and slowed down to look at it. And I just saw the images, and I got like these little butterflies in my stomach, like I was looking at a Superman comic for the first time again as a kid, right? Like I was actually looking at it, and I was reading the corny dialogue, but but I was just like, I felt like a kid again. And I felt more than anything else, a little bit of hope again. And uh, that leads to me just being super, super, super excited about when I saw this poster, that movie poster that just dropped. Um, and we were all, we all saw that first image, official image of Superman putting his boot on, in the window. And I felt like people had mixed reactions to it. I thought it was pretty cool. I just thought it was cool because what I heard some people say was, well, it makes him look incredibly laissez-faire that he's sitting there putting his boot on while Metropolis is getting destroyed from behind. And I was like, that's not. First of all, it's Superman. This could be a split second in time for him, even though it did. I don't think that's what it was meant to be, but um, but I was still excited. But I didn't get that everybody or the people I spoke to were excited. This movie poster dropped, and people who are Superman fans, but I don't think we're as excited as I was about it. People love this movie poster. People love this movie poster. People love the hint, the music that plays in the trailer, the little hint. Like it's new, but not, there's definitely a feel to
I
it.
think we can spoil it at this point.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, by the way, and I'm assuming you're gonna overlay the two images we just talked about in
thousand
the
percent,
clip so people can know what we're talking about.
1000%.
And I agree, the first image was weird. First of all, it wasn't particularly bright. It had the kind of melancholic feeling, which was we knew not what they were going for.
Yeah.
Um, his outfit looked thick and ill-fitting.
Yeah.
Solaris was destroying the city while he seemed sort of in, his expression wasn't one of urgency.
At all.
But it was sort of clear that there wasn't an attempt to build a narrative with that image.
Yeah,
Fine. This one, though, which speaking of Alex Ross, definitely has an Alex Ross vibe to it.
for sure.
Um, it's bright, it's hopeful, it's exciting. If you saw the motion poster where the background moves, it's very hyperkinetic, very
Yeah.
energetic.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll spoil and say that the if you really tune up the audio, you'll hear a woman singing the John Williams theme. Actually, a combination of the Lois Love theme and the main theme
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll see. My Before we get to analyzing the poster in way too much detail,
Yeah.
I'll say that when it comes to the John Williams theme, they got it right the first time. And my opinion was always that it's like James Bond. Make variations, change it a little bit, but that's the theme. That's Superman's theme, and that can accompany him in every iteration and every. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. Um,
I wasn't.
and
Yeah.
listen, if you love the Hans Zimmer beating of the drums thing in Man of Steel and all that, all the power to you. I hated it. I
Really?
had a visceral like, what the falafel is this? WTF? What the falafel? Right? Like, what the hell is this? Boom, 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 boom. What is like? I really had a
Didn't like it.
strong visceral reaction to it.
Okay.
This is not a value judgment. If you enjoyed it, I support you guys, but I really didn't like it. It didn't have that kind of triumphant, inspiring frisson of, trumpets and strings. It really seems like Gunn is getting it. And it's something we talked about in your first thing that having some inside knowledge of this movie, I do think Gunn gets it.
Yeah. Interesting because I did I did like those. I think one version of it is called Flight from the Zack Snyder movie. Um, Maybe I liked it with that particular portrayal of Superman, perhaps, or I don't know. Maybe I was just so excited to see the movie that I just kind of because I do watch that sequence a lot when he walks out of your house right there, and for the first time in
By the
full.
way, this house technically makes Superman an illegal resident of Canada. I just want to make it clear.
They just couldn't enforce that. They couldn't enforce it. That's very true. Where is that thing? Where is it supposedly located? Like
North Pole, right next to Santa.
in the North Pole. Okay.
Yeah. So, he's an illegal immigrant in the US and an illegal resident of Canada.
He's just breaking rules all over the place. Well, he is supposed to be on a planet, I guess. So I guess that's different, right? Um, what a great character. But I really did like that music, but this is something else. And I had read that, and you can confirm or not, you don't, but I had read that James Gunn was going to lean heavily or more so, which is actually interesting now that I think about it, but more interesting. Well, he's going to lean more into the science fiction element of the comic book in Superman, right? That's what I read. We'll see if that's true.
You're gonna get me into trouble here. So,
I say that to say when I listen to that music with that poster, I definitely got like he is like this is like an intergalactic type of thing, right? Like I felt like the music was very like like Luke walking on Tatooine with the the suns. Like I definitely got like a he is going for like a alien world feel to that music, and that just got me even more excited because I'm like, holy smokes! Like we get to see him as Superman, but we get to talk about him being not from Earth too, right? That would be exceptional because we haven't really seen that before. Zack Snyder kind of did it when it with well, not really, because all he did was
It
reinvent.
was Zod. There was a lot of,
Yeah,
where you're from and all that. Yeah, so for those of you who are tuning in now, and I'm assuming this is going to air tomorrow before the trailer, but
correct.
um, I worked on the marketing campaign for the movie, which included a story walkthrough. I got to see some storyboards. I got to know some plot details, but I also signed an NDA. And if I even utter one word out of place, Deathstroke the Terminator is going to take me out. If I can finish the sentence. Like it was quite the NDA. Uh, but last time that I was on your show, they actually got it out of me. She asked me point blank about Crypto, the super dog, and I could neither confirm nor deny, and now I can confirm because it's out there that he is in the movie. And he's a very different Crypto than anything you've seen before, in terms of his personality, and that's all I'm
Can you
going to
tell me
say
a little
about
bit
that.
more about that or no? No, you can't.
No, of course
You
not.
just said you can't see more. Okay,
Um,
fine. I actually don't want
I
to. I actually, yeah.
I cannot tell you anything about the story. I cannot tell you anything
I
about
wouldn't
elements
even,
in the
I
movie.
wouldn't ask.
I can tell you this in regards to what you just said, with an implicit question mark at the end of it. I can tell you that uh, Gunn definitely intentionally is embracing the comic book roots. He's not going for verisimilitude in the sense of the Richard Donner thing, where it's sort of Superman is the only thing that's not real, sort of kind of.
Right.
He's definitely going for that kind of DC universe, um, comic book world. That's as much as I can tell you without being assassinated.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, all right. That's fine. Oh, just so you guys know, Roy is I told you he was an author, so this is his book. All right. Um, you need to get it. Superman Circumcised by Roy Schwartz. Go get it. I'll put a link in the comments. But this is why this guy is signing NDAs and can't talk about cool
Thanks,
stuff.
man. Thanks, man. It's a history of comics, from that Jewish perspective. This, the same way as if I wrote a book about the history of jazz from the Black American experience perspective. But it's definitely a book for everybody, and it's definitely about the history of comics. I will, since we're shilling shamelessly here, and thank you for that. Is let's see if we can see it on the Zoom. We can't see it. Oh, my son drew a picture of me as Superman. We can't
Oh,
see
I
it.
can
Oh,
see
you know
part of
what?
it.
I'm
Send
gonna
it to
send you a
me.
picture and we'll see if you
Yeah,
can overlay it because my
yeah,
son Ethan drew a brilliant picture of Dad as Superman,
that's
and I just
amazing.
gotta share it with the world. So I'm gonna take
I
a
mean,
picture of it and send it to you. You can
you would have
overlay it.
to. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank
Um,
you, Ethan. I'm
yeah,
raising
yeah. It is, it is. Um, so yeah, so I saw the poster and I immediately became I just got so excited. And from what I'm hearing about David Cornsweet is that he is going to bring some new things to the character that perhaps we haven't seen on screen before because of primarily because of I guess from what I'm reading is that he's a very good comedic actor and but he also is he's very good like he's a great physical actor. Um, so I heard that he has a lot of range and that's going to allow him to perhaps portray maybe Clark Kent in a different way than we're used to seeing, or
that. I don't know. I haven't actually seen him in action, but we talked about it when I was a guest on your show.
yeah,
Um, that I actually saw him in a different show, The Candidate, years ago, and told my wife, he has what it takes to be Superman. He has that warmth to him, and he looks the part. When he grows up, he'd make a good Superman.
stop.
Uh, it's
That's
it's in your
hilarious.
show. You just don't remember. You gotta find the clip.
I gotta find
And
it.
this was like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. So yeah, I
He's
called it.
he's tall too. He's like 6'5" or something.
No, he's not that tall, but he's tall.
Six
He's six
four.
two, maybe. I don't know. To the
Okay.
Google. But
I will to Google. We will to Google it and
yeah,
put it.
yeah, yeah, but he's definitely above 6. He's tall, yeah. And I
I
also
also,
and this is a complete guess,
mm,
but I'm going to predict that Rachel Brosnahan is going to become the best Lois ever. That's my prediction.
the best Lois.
And that's half the
I,
equation.
I could,
Lois,
I could,
Superman has been a love story from Action Comics number one.
yeah,
It's always been Lois has always been half the equation, and
yeah.
I predict that she's gonna bypass the rest of them. Is my prediction.
Even Margot.
Margot's not my favorite, believe it or not.
I
Chris
did
is.
not know that. Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna have to go with Terry Hatcher. Understanding that I was a silly rom-com and it was going for a completely different thing and not the realism. Smallville had a great Lois.
Yes.
I did not care for Bitsy with love and respect. She's not my cup of tea, Lois
No,
in Superman Lois. I think Rachel's gonna take the cake.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. She's from Marvelous Miss Maisel, right?
And by the way, Mrs. Maisel is basically like Lois's crazy aunt. She's like halfway there.
I'm so looking forward to seeing this. This is great. I love the fact that they're casting people, who are, I think, like the first movie, great actors. I think it's so important. I think it's really, really important. I think of all the Superman that I've watched, on television, small screen, I think for me, the person who I guess is, other than the original, other than Christopher Reeve, who stood out to me, aha, is Tyler Hoechlin, the new guy.
Interesting. Interesting.
I feel
Okay.
like, I mean, I feel like if we,
I think it's Hecklin, but nobody knows for sure.
Hoechlin, I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah. Ironically enough, when he was younger, I thought he would make a great Batman.
Yeah,
Um,
because he has the kind of wolfish, you
yeah,
know.
like he would look good in the cowl, I think. But
Yeah.
I thought he was good. I thought like your like Cornsweet, I think he brings warmth
Yeah,
to
he's warm.
to the
I don't
character.
think he has the same
How do you feel
commanding
about it?
presence. I don't think he's charismatic or has that kind of commanding presence and that kind of, oh, I wish I could be him, or
Oh no,
secretly
no.
that's my.
I think I feel like that more so about him playing Clark than
If we really anchor the character in what he was in the comics at that time, I'm gonna have to go with George Reeves after Christopher Reeve.
oh
For
my God,
that
you're right.
time,
Yeah.
Superman was like your dad, but like the best version of your dad.
Yeah.
He brought that. He had that kind of charm and confidence and swagger.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even he didn't even occur to yeah.
I mean, he was thick and aging, but that's beside the point.
But yeah, he still had that when he was Clark, you definitely got that like
Swagger.
gee. Yeah. Um yeah, so I also heard that in your saying that this is a world where superheroes exist, right?
That
Like
much we know, and I
as
can
you said,
confirm.
as
Yeah.
you said, right? Like Superman is not the only one, right? I read that that Mr. Terrific is going to play a key role, or at least he's going to be a standout character. You don't have to confirm or not.
No,
But
no, that's out there. That's actually my one concern of the movie, that it may have too many characters for its own good.
that's where I was going.
Because it's not like I read the script in detail. I got a story walkthrough, some images, some
Yeah.
designs. But I don't know. But we're gonna have to trust Gunn. His track record is pretty decent.
His track record for me is excellent. I really like that second Suicide Squad. I thought it was fun. I know,
The first two Guardians movies,
first two Guardian movies are great. I like the last one too, even though it was like, but I like the first. I really like the first one. The first one was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Um, I like Creature Commandos. I do. I like Creature Commandos. I just, you know what it is? I like the fact that I feel like he has a pulse on these characters, whether you like the characters or not, right? Like these characters are they're not just animation just bouncing around on screen, like he's trying to give depth to these characters.
I
And
think he gets it. Yeah, I agree. I think he gets it. He gets what Superman is about without being slavish to what came before, so he can actually tell a new story in
yeah,
a new way.
yeah,
But he's also not going to make it not Superman. I've always said that Man of Steel is actually a really good superhero movie. It's just not a Superman movie
yeah, yeah.
to me.
I do like Man
All
of
of the
Steel.
love and respect to people who love it.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like, and I feel sorry for Henry. I feel like when this comes out, people are gonna be like, Henry was good, but this guy is Superman.
Well, you know what? Sometime between now and before July 11th, I'm gonna hook us up with press premiere. Brandon can tell you that if well, no, this is a surprise. Have I not taken you to press premieres before?
That's
I
true.
hook you
No,
up,
but
right? I do.
this one would be amazing. This would be amazing.
So you know,
That'd be great.
let's hope for the best. They're keeping
Yeah,
this one really under wraps, like
I'm
crazy
sure.
security. So
I'm
we'll see.
sure.
But I'll do
It's
my best.
launching a whole new universe. So yeah, they got to, this is a big one. What, because I don't want to keep you on here forever. Um, how long before before the poster drop did you know that image? Or did you, or was it a surprise to you as well?
Surprise to me as well.
And what did you think when you first saw it? I'll put it up on the
Well, I
screen.
thought it was very pretty. I thought the fact that it wasn't too literal. You can tell that this is, of course, more to convey a feeling. It's supposed to evoke an emotion in you. It's not
Yes.
literal. His cape is not really, 7 feet long, and the color blur doesn't make any sense being to the sides and above him because it's him creating it. It's not about that. It's not about the nitpicky nonsense.
Yeah.
It has a lot of energy, and
Yes.
it's bright. Um, and it's not just hopeful for the sake of, this kind of um, oh, Superman equals hope. We have to talk about it being hopeful. It looks like this guy stands for something, and it looks like he's zooming to kick some butt. And that's what you want. It needs to be high energy. It needs to be high octane. It needs to be a 21st century movie. And I think they stuck to the landing on this poster. I like it.
I think they did. I
And at
like
the
the
same time,
fact,
that Chris Reeve nod, the music,
yep,
I'm
Chris.
very curious to see how much of that ends up in the movie.
I'm hoping they do not do a like they did in Superman Returns, where they
Yeah,
try to do
no.
like a beat for beat, like
That was too slavish. It
imitation
didn't
of
have its own
Christopher.
identity.
Say
Even
again?
Brandon Routh, I talk about in my book, he doesn't act as much as do an impersonation of Christopher Reeve being
Exactly.
Superman.
Exactly. So I do not think that they will do that, but I'm just hoping they do not do
Right.
that. But Reeve Clark is so iconic that I feel it's hard. I think it's hard for them not to try, but we'll see. We'll
It's like
see.
every Bond will always owe to Connery, and that's okay as long as you tell something new.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you needed Daniel Craig to kind of shake off the dust. And let's hope it's a similar thing, you know?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Daniel Craig as James Bond. He
It's
really,
my
I
second
always
favorite.
loved
Yeah.
James Bond, but he really reinvigorated the franchise for me. Um, what is the biggest thing you want to see in this movie? Um, like what is like, and I know I'm sure you have a bunch of things, but if there's one thing that you want to see on the screen for the first time, what would it be?
I'll
And
tell you, and at the risk of sounding a little bit fartsy, a little bit pompous, and forgive me, but this is really how I think about it. What separates a superhero movie from an action movie? They kick butt. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of action, sci-fi, high octane. To me, the thing that separates it is that superheroes inspire us. Die Hard doesn't need to inspire you. Rambo doesn't need to inspire you. Maybe to go to the gym, but not really deep down. Um, Superheroes and particularly Superman need to inspire you. You need to leave the movie theater wanting to be a better you. And I got that with Christopher Reeve, and I have not gotten it since Christopher Reeve. And I want to get it from this movie. And I know it sounds very highfalutin, but that's seriously what I'm looking for the most.
so you want the hero to be inspiring.
I want the hero to be a hero. The world deserves better good guys.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Bro, I want to thank you. I can't even thank you enough for doing this. We're gonna have to talk again after that trailer drops. Is it an actual trailer or is it just like a teaser, like a little?
Teaser.
All
But you
right.
never know now. I mean, I've seen teasers that are 2.5 minutes long. Like, since when is a teaser 2.5 minutes long? Like,
Listen, if they drop
and
a
by the way, they already
long,
released a teaser for the teaser. That's thing with the symbol turning around. Yeah.
listen,
There's a
if
teaser
we're
for the
so
teaser, for the
fortunate,
trailer, for the movie.
if we're so fortunate enough to get a 2 minute teaser trailer for this movie, I'm gonna lose my stuff because I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Um, Thank you so much for doing this. It was super last minute, and I appreciate you giving me your time. We're definitely going to have you back on in season two because you're great. And yeah, we got a lot more superhero stuff to talk. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Let people know
To
where
be
they can.
continued. Yeah.
Yeah, to be continued. Let people know where they can find you. Are you writing anything new? Like, we have anything? You have anything coming up?
Yeah, let's do the plugs. RoySchwartz.com and at Real Roy Schwartz in all social media. Real, not fake. Real Roy Schwartz in all social media.
Excellent. Thanks,
Yeah.
brother. Peace to you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right.
All right.